And then from there, we actually want to add in enemy death sounds. And so in order to do that, it's very simple. We're just going to add right down here, public audio clip death sound. And then it'll just be audio source dot play clip at point death sound, and then transform dot position. And that'll be it. Now our enemies will play sounds upon their death, assuming we add them to each enemy. So if we go into Cacao Demon, lock it, go to sound effects, Cacao Death, and then we go to Zombie, unlock, relock, enemy sounds, zombie death. Now if we play, and we gotta go find one first. As you can see, we now have the sounds of trying to kill a Cacao Demon. And there we go. So now you have sounds. Your weapons make sounds, your guns make sound. And this is just going in and expanding those existing systems with the ability to play sounds. And it's a very simple concept. Now, for our last bit, we are going to actually implement multiple lives for our player character. And I'm sure that sounds very daunting, but it really isn't. We actually only have to edit one file. And in fact, I've already given you one of the pieces that you need for this. So if we go into the canvas, go to scene, and just drag and drop life display, you'll notice you have a life display or a lives display here. And so we're actually going to go back to our scripts, over to player, and go to current health, add in player immortality. And so this will be used to say, hey, the player literally just died, make them immortal for a few seconds. Lives display UI, so public text lives display, and then this will be player lives, and this will be public int player lives 3, and then lives lost. So this will be public text player live lost text, and then this will be used to make it display for X amount of time. So it'll display for 5 seconds. This will be private, so this will be player live lost displaying, and this will just be, is it currently displaying? So we know to use the counter, and then counter. And that's it for new variables. So what we actually want to do is, number one, we need to implement a function that we are going to call reset player. And all that will do is reset. And this should actually make more sense why I made the weapon upgrade not persist based on when you switch. Because when you die, we unequip the weapon. And we reset your health. And then we set your position. New vector 2. There we go. That's all reset player does. From there, we need to make a few new functions. And these functions will be very simple. They'll just be things like editing, like adding in to update the lives. So it'll be private void update lives display if, player lives this. No, that's an int. What did I call it? Oh, we called it lives display. Lives display. So if lives display is not equal to null, we simply just player lives display dot text equal to player lives dot toString. From there, we also want to have an immortality function. So this will be private void update immortality. And then, so it's if the player lives lost display exists. So if player live lost is not equal to null, if so player live lost displaying, and then so we're gonna increase our counter time dot delta time, and then if if counter is greater than equal to player live lost time, then is immortal is now false, and then we're just gonna player live lost displaying equals false, and then player live lost text dot set or dot game object dot set active false, and then we want to reset counter. Now if we scroll down and go to dead, you'll notice that obviously our die just happens. So we want to add an if statement. If player lives is greater than 0, we want that. And then this will be in our else function. I accidentally messed up the tabbing somehow. There we go. And yeah, so in here, we want to actually subtract player lives. So player lives minus minus. We want to reset player. We want to update lives display. We want to make them immortal. Live lost text dot game object dot set active true, and then player live lost displaying true. And now that we've done that, so this will trigger, And then this here. Oh, sorry. It's player live lost text. That should be player live lost text, not player live lost displaying, because player live lost displaying is a bool and will never be null. So you'll notice we have update immortality and update lives display. And these are two new functions that just don't get called. But before we add that, we just want to, make sure that so if is or not, if the player is not immortal, then take damage. But if the player is immortal, the damage function will just do nothing. And that's the point of, having your player be immortal. And from there, we simply want to go all the way back up to update and basically add in our update mortality when you died but have extra lives. So as you saw in our if statement for this function, this will only run if the lives lost text is displaying, and otherwise it won't run at all. While we're here, while we have this open already, we might as well also add the audio for player's death. So death sound, audio clip, player death sound. And then we just go down to die. And then it's simply if player death sound is not equal to null, play death sound, audio source dot play clip at point, player death sound, transform dot position. And there we go. All we have left to do now for this video is simply add all of our new, should unlock the inspector. We got to add in all of our new display stuff. So lives display will be lives number. And then, so if you notice we have death display, we're just going to copy paste death display, enable it, and replace it with live lost. And then change it to like a dark green. And then we're just going to call this live lost display. And if we go back to player, we'll drag and drop live lost display, disable it again. We also want to go to the debug enabler and disable that because nobody wants that much debug stuff to be printed. And then last but not least, weird. Player, did we make player death sound? Oh, we didn't make it public. So there we go. Now it's public. So if we go back to player now, lock it, you'll notice that we have this empty audio clip slot. So if we go to sound effects, player, doom death, now the player will make sounds when they die. And so if we play, and I'm gonna exit, go to enemies, and make the Cacao Demon's bullet do a lot more damage, just to make this take less time, make it do 50 damage, so that you can see the thing in action. A Cacao Demon spawned somewhere. Definitely not in this room, though. Live lost, and it reset me back. Unequipped my weapon. Gave me immortality until that ended. And yeah, and then we lost another life. And yeah. So if we keep going and then just wait for the immortality to end. We just wait. Dead. And there we go. Lives at 0, health's at 0. And so now you have a live system in your game. Or in Doom. From there, the very last thing that we need to do is, like we mentioned, our interactables should, we have sound effects for them. They should make sound. So we're going to go to Interactable and quite simply just, we're going to make it no longer abstract. And we're going to instead make it a virtual function, which means it needs to have a body. So remove that semicolon. And then from there, we're going to public audio clip interact sound. And so this will just be it'll be audio source dot play clip at point interact sound and then transform dot position. So if we exit, and now if you remember how I mentioned that specifically we need to have base dot interact in every single one of our things now. Interact. Copy. Paste. Paste. And that's all that does. Now we can just close this up safely. And then go to our Interactables prefabs. Do the same steps as last time. Lock it. Item pickup. And then go back to Interactables. Weapon upgrade. Unlock. Relock. Interactable. Item pickup. Unlock. Go back to Interactables. Door. Relock. Go to the Interactable folder. Door. Open. And there we go. Now if we click on any of these, if we unlock, door open will be there. And this is why we use prefabs. So now, if we play the game, open that up. You can hear it. The only thing we're missing is a background audio track now, which it just so happens is technically in the file. And if you would like to set it up, you can. It's a very simple process. So if you'd like to be done with this video now, absolutely can be. There's nothing to keep you here. because all I'll be doing is adding in that, and it's a very, so we just, go to our, so typically because it's our player, we're just going to add audio source to the player, and, or sorry, not because it's the player. We're going to add, if you remember, we actually have this script already called GameManager. So if we just add this to our debug enabler, you'll notice that we already have an audio source and everything so we just add, audio source, and then go back to debug enabler, drag player onto it, and then the audio clip will just be music. And so this just, this game manager just plays the music. So yeah. And what a difference having music makes in the intensity of a game. And the other thing is what a difference not being able to hear yourself makes. So if you lower down the volume, you should be able to hear yourself better, or me better. And yeah. You can also adjust any of these settings to do anything you really want. It's really up to you. I forgot that those do 50 damage now. But if I can get to the... I didn't make it. But yeah, that is everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Congratulations on getting through this week's video.